Good evening. Welcome to the March 8th, 2016 meeting of the Millis School Committee. I'll start by announcing that the meeting is being recorded and can be viewed on Mondays at 7 o'clock on Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 37. I will start with a roll call vote. Denise?
Here.
Nancy?
Here.
Steve?
Present.
Did you represent? And Steve represent?
Here.
All right. Both Mrs. Stoll and Mr. Catalano will be absent tonight. Or, I mean, Doherty, sorry. All right, first we'll, Jody, is there anybody signing for open session?
Yes, one person.
Okay.
The Tara Taramini, I don't know if she's speaking now, you can come to the table.
You guys have a seat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Tara. I just have some questions about the High Brown School regarding the mold. I feel like you guys have addressed all the chemicals, but not the mold issue at the school. So my questions are, I would like to know what's being done about the mold in the school. Will you be getting a professional cleaning company to take care of this mold issue? Why isn't something being done like a tarp over on 5? I know there was a discussion last weekend at the Sunday meeting about having a tarp over. That's a quick fix that could have been done. I know it's rained since that meeting, and there's still not a tarp over that side of the school. I would like to know also why there's ceiling tiles down throughout the school, and why they're leaving insulation exposed, and whatever else is up there, mold and stuff, for the kids to breathe in. I don't know why it takes almost a week to get tiles back up there. That to me is kind of ridiculous, and why you're even pulling it down while there's children in school. I would like to know how many areas of the school also have mold outside of room 5. And will you be doing air quality testing specifically for mold after you remediate whatever mold you do find? I would like to also know where the public can find these results. And I also would like to know how fast you guys can act on this mold. I feel like room 5 has been leaking since September at least. I've heard rumors it's been leaking for at least 6 years. To me, that's ridiculous. As a school, we're supposed to be putting the children's health first. That years and years and years and years and years, there's leak going on. I haven't been in that school for that long, but I know at least in September, the room 5 has been leaking. I just would like to know why it's taking so long to fix this.
We are gonna, in the chairman's report, address the status of the work that's being done regarding the mold that was found. So we'll give that update when we get to that part. And then just the only other thing is we are posted on the website and sent on listservs all of the information that we have in terms of results and testing, so you're more than welcome to.
Is that regarding the PCE and the TCE or the mold?
Right now, it's PCE and TCE.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking. I'm
I
asking about the mold. I have a
And
class,
we'll
child
give
in
an
class
update,
5.
and we're gonna give an update on the mold.
Okay,
Sure.
I have a child in class 5, and I have a child in preschool who has medical issues. I have also know of a couple of incidences of other kids in the preschool who, in just the last month or so, have tested positive, allergy tested for mold.
Okay.
Okay, I have my son on nebulizer taking steroids since October, and it just makes me wonder why.
I completely appreciate the concern.
When you do fix this mold, if you guys do, where will those results be posted?
When we have more information and we have concluded all the work that's being done, we will have all the information posted online.
Can you tell me it's been worked on now?
We have an update coming as part of the chairman's report later that will.
Okay, so I'll just have to wait for that update. Thank you.
Moving to, anybody else signing for open session?
Just the one.
Then moving to action items. Consideration to approve emergency meeting minutes and school committee minutes for February 23rd, We have consideration to approve working session minutes for various dates and executive session minutes for various dates. So I would take a motion for all three of those with dates.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to approve the school committee meeting minutes of February 23rd, 2016. I make a motion to approve, actually, I can do it all in one. The school committee meeting minutes of February 23rd, 2016. The emergency meeting minutes for February 23rd, 2016. Working session minutes for September 8th, 2015. 9/22/2015, 11/17/2015, 12/15/2015, 1/19/2016, and 2/2/2016, as well as executive session meeting minutes for September 8th, 2015, September 22nd, 2015, November 17th, 2015, and December 15th, 2015.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have consideration to approve the high school program of studies. Should be in here.
Good evening. Good evening.
For the high school program of studies, we have a few proposed changes to existing prerequisites, and then 3 new courses that we'd like to propose. Starting with the prerequisites in chemistry, at the CP1 level, we'd like to change the prerequisite from successful completion of a geometry course and teacher recommendation to completion of geometry CP1 or honors with a C or better, and teacher recommendation with concurrent enrollment in algebra 2 CP1. And the reason for this change is the chemistry CP1 has a significant math component, and over the last few years we've found that students who did not have those credentials going into the course, they were having a lot of difficulty with the course. And the prerequisite for the physics CP1 is basically the same rationale. It's significant math component to that course as well. And for that course, we'd like to change the prerequisite from completion of algebra 2 and or concurrent enrollment in algebra 2 or higher level math is recommended to completion of algebra 2 with a C or better and concurrent enrollment in an upper level CP1 math course. And then we have a proposed prerequisite for anatomy and physiology at the CP1 level, which is a C or better in biology CP1 and chemistry CP1. And again, this would put it in line with the honors anatomy and physiology course, which has prerequisites with honors bio and honors chem, just to give those students the background to do well in those classes. For the new courses, we have a proposed new course in science at the CP2 level, current topics in science, and that could be considered physical science or life science, depending on which courses the student's already taken to fulfill the graduation requirement. And this course would be kind of the next step for the students who are taking environmental science, and that's the science class that was approved last year, and has gone very well so far with a lot of hands-on lab experiences and things like this. So this would be a continuation of that, and kind of a a view of science in the real world with current topics and, seeing more science concepts as they play out in the world around us and in events around us. And no shortage of material there. The next proposed course is an AP Human Geography course, which would result in students taking the AP exam. The particular teacher that is proposing the course has a background and interest in human geography. And what this would do is, this would give us an additional social studies elective, which we are certainly in need of, without taking a history section, a social studies section, because the person who is proposing this course is an English teacher. So if this course were proposed and if it ran, he'd be teaching 4 English and 1 social studies. So in a sense, in essence, give us an additional section of social studies. It would take away a section of English, but the class sizes in English are smaller than the class sizes in social studies. So I think it's a pretty good trade-off. And it gives us an upper-level elective for seniors, which we currently don't have. Everything's at the CP1 level. And then the final proposed course is Exploring Computer Science 2. Again, a progression from a class that was approved last year, Dave DiGiamarino's Exploring Computer Science 1, which is done in conjunction with the Massachusetts Computer Alliance Network. And this would be an opportunity for those students who take that class to continue on their study of computer science. And it would be designed in such a way that it could really be personalized, and they kind of go at their, something that's of real interest to them, something they're passionate about. It's also a class that could run concurrently in the computer lab with another class there.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Mullany, do any of these changing or adding of classes, do they require any new additional staffing members, or are we going to be doing everything with existing staff?
Right, this would be with existing staff. And we have, for the 3 classes, we have 3 teachers who would most likely be the instructors for these classes.
Mr. Chair. I make a motion to approve the proposed high school program of studies as outlined by Mr. Mullany.
Second.
Bob, just one other question.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the teachers, how about space and room within the schedule?
Yeah, one of the teachers, the anatomy and, the human geography class, that teacher is a traveling teacher. So we find a room, but we find a room for 5 of his classes anyhow. The environmental science class would be reducing 1 section of probably environmental science, if, depending on enrollment and things like that. So that class would just kind of take the place. Right now we're running 2 sections of environmental science because this year we captured sophomores, juniors, and seniors in that class. So next year there'd be, there wouldn't be, So I'm pretty confident that we wouldn't be worried too much about finding space, other than our usual looking for space.
Any other further discussion? All those in favor of approving the program of studies? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Next we have,
Yeah,
next we have consideration to approve facility rental waiver for Souls Education Ventures.
Yeah, and this is an SAT prep course we've done for the last 3 years. It was formerly doing business as Chiton, so it's the same ownership. So it's basically the same proposal he's had in the past. If we can waive the room fees, then he can pass those savings on to the students who enroll. And it would begin on the 22nd of March and run until May 3rd. And it would be for 3 hours every night. There's custodians in the building anyhow at those times. When we first did this 3 years ago, we collected a damage deposit from the company. There has been no damage. We still have the deposit, so I would ask that this be considered.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to waive the facility rental fees for Souls Educational Ventures.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Next is, we'll take the last one first. Consideration to approve fee waiver for Girl Scout Troop 74920.
Mr. Chair. This is a special event that the Girl Scouts would like to hold utilizing our art classroom. They checked with the art teacher. She's fine with having them use that. The custodian is in the building anyway, and generally the Girl Scouts use our cafeteria and other spaces without incurring the facility rental. So I would recommend that we allow them to have this special event in the art classroom.
This will be on March 24th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. with 20 people listed as being a number of attendees.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to waive the facility rental fees for Millis Girl Scout Troop 74920 for a special event on 3/24/2016.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is consideration to approve proposal for recouping the school days that we lost at Clyde Brown last week, 2 weeks ago.
Mr. Chair, I have submitted a proposal to the Department of Education for trying to recoup a couple of our days. We have used 3 of our snow days. We're required to schedule 5 weather or snow-related days. So we must use the remaining 2 days for Clyde Brown. In my memo to the Commissioner of Education, we, as an administrative team and also in dialogue with the Teachers Association, propose dropping the 181st day of school for Clyde Brown students because 180 days are required. And we schedule extra, we have more hours than required time on learning, so we can drop the 181st day, which then means we just have one final day to make up at Clyde Brown. The proposal is to use 2 of our half-days and have 2 full days of school. One would be on Good Friday, which is March 25th. Clyde Brown students would stay for the entire day. Of course, families and faculty members who have observed a religious holiday would not be penalized for that and can submit for a religious holiday. And the other half day would be our release day on April 6th. Both March 25th and April 6th are early enough in the school year that the weather is not hot. There's still optimal conditions for learning, whereas at the end of June, those conditions can be difficult and very hot weather. So the commissioner has indicated that he would grant this. I was hoping to receive today the official approval, but I expect to receive that tomorrow. So that would mean, just to wrap up, the final day of school at Clyde Brown would be June 23rd, barring any other weather events or unforeseen events. At the middle high school, it would remain June 21st.
So, just to kind of walk through the process a little bit, the commissioner has indicated that they wouldn't give us a reduced number of school days, so we have to do 180 days.
Correct. But he would consider
Right, but that's just,
recouping the time.
right, so but just starting, we have to do 180 days, which pushes us
Yes.
to at least June 23rd and potentially June 24th. What this proposal does is, as long as we get the official approval, allows us to be done on the 23rd by utilizing the hours from the 2 half-days, even though, and basically what they're doing is they're letting us use hours to count towards the day, even though half-days in and of themselves count as days. So normally we get credit for the day. So one would normally think that just going the full day wouldn't count because you're getting credit for that day anyway. What the commissioner is doing is allowing us to take those hours, couple them with the hours from the second half day, and take credit for that day. And the choice of these two is just to get them in sooner rather than later. Any further questions, discussion?
I don't think we have much of an option. We petition the secretary, the commissioner, I should say, and we don't have an option. So we have to do this. It seems like it's the best case scenario for what we can work with. Nancy, the one question is, on those days, those half days, the professional development that's being missed, will there be a workaround on that? How is that going to impact the teachers at Clyde Brown?
We have 3 remaining half-days, March, April, and May, and 2 of those we considered very valuable and would be very difficult to give up. But the April day, what we can do for professional development is allot some faculty meeting time for the topics we would have been addressing then.
And can you just highlight what the two, so what the May half day I remember is the day that you utilized for classroom assignments, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't have teachers missing that process. And
Right.
take,
Teachers in May go through a very thorough process of developing the class lists for the following year, balancing classes, taking into consideration all the many things that goes into building a balanced and a class that can be an optimal learning environment with parents also giving input and teachers. So that is in May. The March release day is, we had contracted with a consultant that I have seen. She presented to superintendents this year, a superb presenter, Jessica Minahan, who is going to be teaching our teachers and helping them develop skills dealing with students who have anxiety students with oppositional behaviors. And it's, I think, really going to be very, very worthwhile for every teacher and all the paraprofessionals and substitute teachers that are attending. So we had already contracted with her. She'll be presenting to the entire district that day. And we didn't want Clyde Brown to miss out on that.
Is this a vote? Or is this
Yeah.
just an update?
No, I think we would vote to approve this recommendation pending official approval from the Commissioner of, or the Commissioner of the Secretary.
Yeah, it's a calendar adjustment.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I vote to, I make a motion, sorry, I make a motion to approve the proposed outline for recouping the missed days at Clyde Brown pending final approval by the Commissioner of Education.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That's it, action items. So next, update from student representative. How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you? SAT prep course starts on March 22nd. Then the Scholastic Book Fair started on March 2nd. The annual Polar Plunge was a success. It almost raised $4,000 for the Special Olympics, and it had more kids in it than ever before. The girls hockey team won their last game, and so did the girls basketball team. And the Youth in Government Club, run by Marianne Ziemba, is going to conference in Boston on March 10th through 12th. And yesterday, March 7th, there was a seminar on internet safety, and they talked about how to keep things private and the correct applications to use and such. And the last thing is that there's a half day tomorrow, Wednesday, March 9th.
Thanks, sir.
For Clyde Brown, the PE classes will be starting to go outside now that the weather is getting better. So the teachers would just like students to arrive with the appropriate attire to be comfortable to be able to participate outdoors. The Homeschool Association was very generous to Clyde Brown for their library. They have new books. They're currently on display at the Clyde Brown Library, so they're thankful to the Homeschool Association for their donations and their generous support for their budget. And then March 9th is the school-wide half-day for students, so Clyde Brown is dismissed 11:25 a.m. And no afternoon kindergarten session. The middle school, their science fair finished up this evening, and on April 6th, there'll be an 8th grade rising parent information night. It's for the 8th grade students rising to 9th grade, rising 9th grade students, so it's kind of a middle school, high school information session night for parents to kind of explain the transition process from the middle school to the high school. It will be here at the high school auditorium. The presentation part will begin at 6:30, but from 6 to 6:30 there'll be high school clubs available for parents and students. The students are invited to attend as well as their parents. And the information booths will be open for explaining the different clubs and activities that go on at the high school that students might not be aware of. And the book fair is continuing through the rest of this week, so it'll be open tomorrow and Thursday. It does end Thursday afternoon. And the high school AP students, if they haven't paid for their exam, the money is due as soon as possible. It's actually past due, and it's a $93 to be given to Mrs. Harkey in the guidance office. And the Youth and Government will be this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Miss Siemba. The students will be going into the State House to do mock government processes such as courts and passing bills, and the process that goes along with passing bills. So, and April 6th is the same information about the rising ninth graders, so.
Don't have anything for time of learning tonight. Superintendent report.
No, mine I'll address in correspondence.
So moving to the chairman's report, I'll give an update on air quality and mold. Air quality, the final report, the up-to-date reports were, the link to them was sent out, as well as the executive summary via the listserv and posted on the website, based on all the final results and final tally. And the key point in the executive summary to take away is that the most likely cause of the air quality results we received on February 4th was sample error, sample transportation error, and was most likely that level of that chemical was most likely not in existence, and if it actually was a one-time, what they call transient event that no one has been able to replicate nor identify any legitimate source or condition that would have caused that. Then as we get into, and then speaking to the mold, the process where we are with that. Based on the discussions at the public forum held on February 28th, 2016, the school department has reached out to the Department of Public Health to assist us in providing additional guidance on addressing the concerns of mold at the Clyde Brown School that the school department has been working on over the course of this school year. DPH representatives who have expertise in mold are scheduled to visit Clyde Brown on Thursday, March 10th to review the existing conditions. They have agreed to attend an upcoming school committee meeting to review their initial recommendations for addressing the mold found and answer questions from the public. As we indicated at the public forum, the school department has and will continue to follow recommendations of DPH and the Department of Environmental Protection for addressing conditions that could cause mold to develop. These include removal of damaged ceiling tiles and disinfecting tracks that held the damaged tiles. In our conversations with DPH, we have learned that because the mold found inside Clyde Brown were types that are non-toxic, so not black mold, the utilization of certified mold removal specialists is not necessary or required. In fact, there are no extra certifications or licenses that address the non-toxic types of mold found at the school. Our staff has followed and will continue to follow the recommendations of the state agencies for managing this situation. Once we are able to confirm a date for DPH to attend the school committee meeting, we will communicate that out through our listservs and the public posting of our meeting and our agenda. Other topics in the chairman's report are the budget for fiscal 17, which we will be working on later tonight. And as always, as I do for the periods of March and April, Maytown meeting is scheduled, elections come up in May, and that's the information we have. So that's the chairman's report. Moving to subcommittee reports, the elementary school building committee.
The forum that was scheduled for last Wednesday was rescheduled to Wednesday, April 13th, and it was rescheduled because a decision was made by the school building committee to submit the next for the lack of a better term, application to the MSBA at a later date, which gave us more time to do some more research and planning out. So when we meet on the 13th with the community, we'll have more vetted options with information attached to the multiple options that were submitted in the preferred design program application that went in on February 19th. There is a full school building committee meeting on Monday, the 14th at 7 p.m. at the Millis Library, Millis Public Library. And that's it for now on the school building committee.
We move to correspondence.
Mr. Chair, in your packets, you have articles congratulating the Millis Girls 4x200 relay team that did very well at the state track meet. They did a wonderful job, and 3 freshmen and 1 sophomore, so we have a future in track, and that program has been growing very well. There was also an article in the Millis Medway News on the school building update, and then in the Milford Daily News, the Wicked Local section of that, we had a nice article called Getting to the Heart of the Matter, which was a program that did some heart screening that our nurses and our trainer, Jamie Farias, did to, as a fundraiser, but also to bring awareness and do some screening for students. And I'm thinking that this is perhaps going to be held again in the future, and it was a very good thing that benefited the Live for Evan Foundation. You also have the agenda for tomorrow's release day that I mentioned, Jessica Minahan presenting in children with anxiety related and oppositional behavior. She's the author of the book, The Behavior Code, which is excellent, and I know that Dr. Marks is working with the Special Education PAC to bring her back for a parent presentation as well. We do not yet have a date for that, but everybody's looking forward to the training tomorrow on the half day. And then finally, we are offering actually three courses, but this course in particular is for our new hires and substitute teachers to give them an overview of special education and strengthen their skills in managing challenging behaviors. It gives them ideas about how to accommodate and modify programming for students with special needs, and that is an online course that we have, that we're offering to new hires, substitutes, and actually anybody else who would like to take it on staff.
We have no old new business, we don't have executive session. Any school committee announcements?
Not for me.
And we will be moving into our working session to go through and continue to prepare the fiscal 17 budget. Our next scheduled meeting dates are March 22nd. And there's one on April 5th and April 26th. We are hoping that DPH can attend the March 22nd meeting. I'm waiting for confirmation on that. Also on March 22nd, we'll have it'll be our fiscal 17 budget presentation with public hearing here, and then on March 23rd, we'll be presenting a budget to the finance committee at town hall at 7:30. So now we will move to our working session. Yeah, I think it's a motion for the working session.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
I
Catalano.
make a motion to adjourn to working session, not to come back before camera.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.